All right, we are back here on the podcast. Summer movie season is over, but we do have a lot of interesting fall movies to look forward to. Making his quarterly appearance on the podcast, our resident film critic, Jon Stanko of Barstool Sports here. John, how are you?
Doing all right, Mike Phillips. How you doing this fine evening?
Doing pretty good. Actually, nice to have a night off of the baseball, but I feel like my Mets have been playing all the time of late, so nice to
Well,
have
you've
it.
been
Relax.
yeah, you've been watching them all of late too because they're winning a lot. So you're still watching every game. Meanwhile, me as a Boston Red Sox fan, life's easy going when your team stinks. You don't need to check into every game. You just know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I actually did the drive down to Philly over the weekend to watch the Mets play in Philly.
Oh, did you really? Good for you.
Yep,
I heard Citizens Bank Park is gorgeous.
it is very nice. I highly recommend it if you have not gotten to it yet.
I have not. It's one of the few on the Northeast I haven't been to, but I've heard only good things.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy drive. I did enjoy that a lot here. But since you're here, figure we're gonna go into the summer movie thing. I will admit, between all my Mets tickets, I did not get to as many as I want to. So, like, catch me up here. What's the best summer movies you've seen this year?
There, to be honest with you, not a great summer movie slate. Not a lot that I really am going to write home about. In terms of some of the best, just from 2022 and from the summer, listen, Top Gun Maverick, Mike Phillips.
Yeah,
Top Gun Maverick. I mean, it's literally one of the most successful films ever in box office history. Who would have thought Tom Cruise would have his best movie ever, like at this age now, still performing all these crazy stunts? The movie was a cultural phenomenon, and nobody would have guessed it. But it was nostalgia done to the upteenth degree. I mean, if I remember correctly, you saw it and you fell in love with it as well.
Oh yeah, that was such a fun movie. Oh, I love
Yeah,
it so much.
I mean, it's got the perfect blend of action, comedy, nostalgia, like I said, emotion. It's well acted for being how cheesy it is at some points in time. Jennifer Connelly is the hottest babe alive out of nowhere, just absolutely dynamite. And Tom Cruise is cranking up his godlike stature that he sees himself in to the upteenth degree. But guess what? We buy it hook, line, and sinker. It's a great watch. So yeah, Top Gun Maverick easily number one, but two other from the summer that are actually three other from the summer. Quick, Prey just came out on Hulu. I'm a huge fan of the Predator franchise. Have you seen Prey yet?
I have not seen Prey yet.
Prey was fucking incredible, Mike. It was absolutely remarkable for an action movie. I was absolutely enthralled by it. I was planning on like cleaning the house, doing some writing, like while watching the movie. No, it sucked me right in. Absolutely incredible movie. Go watch it on Hulu right now. By far the best since the original in 1987. And I'll say this, Mike, it is better made than the 1987 Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's that good.
High praise.
Nope was very good in theaters. Loved it a lot. Jordan Peele is just an expert filmmaker. It's incredible. You can read as much into it as you want about the different themes he has, but listen, Jordan Peele just makes freaking entertaining movies, man. Like he knows exactly what he's doing, and you don't have to think too hard if you don't want to. But there's lots of little strings you could pull to dissect that movie. And then kind of the sleeper for me this summer, movie called Fire Island. Have you heard of Fire Island, Mike?
I have. I've not gotten to it yet.
Fire Island was great. I watched this while my girlfriend had food poisoning on vacation. I had a couple hours to myself while she was sleeping. And I'm downstairs in the kitchen at our Airbnb and I'm watching this movie and I am crying. I am laughing. I am smiling. Movie was an absolute delight. It's a unique tale on a rom-com set on Fire Island. If you know a little bit about Fire Island, you know where this theme is going, but I don't want to spoil too much about it. I want people to go in with a clean slate. Fire Island, while it's not the best movie I've seen this year, this summer, it's the most surprising. So wholehearted recommendation there.
Yeah, I'll toss out my stuff on what I saw this summer. Obviously, apart from talking, which you all agree is like gonna be like when we do the pop culture party at the end of the year with Sandra Rose, our pop culture correspondent. I'm gonna say this is gonna be one of the things that you had to watch from this year was that movie. I'll mention that here. I'd say Thor: Love and Thunder was okay. It was not great. It was fun, but there was a little total mishmash here. And Lightyear, which you and I like both said would be very mid and make a ton of money, it was mid and made no money.
Well, yeah, it didn't make any money, but Disney doesn't seem to be in the money-making business because they have a Pinocchio movie coming out, which we're going to talk about. And who wants that? So I don't know if Disney really cares about the money. They just care about getting it on their streaming service. I don't think they're worried about making money from box office. They want money from subscribers.
Yeah, speaking of people who need subscribers here, I have to get your take on this HBO Max situation because this is just getting wilder and wilder right now. I feel like this is such a shame. HBO Max, you and I both loved it because all the original content on it is spectacular. And now it's all starting to fade away because these guys apparently lost a ton of money.
It's crazy, their fiscal situation. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I wish I could be a fly on the wall and I wouldn't understand half the jargon they're saying, but I'd love to just kind of get the emotions that are going through the room, like how they can try and rescue this. Warner Brothers is hemorrhaging money, Mike. Absolutely hemorrhaging. We were talking before the pod. They only have enough money to promote 2 movies for the rest of the year. That's it.
That's
It's
insane.
crazy. They got Black Adam and Don't Worry Darling. Those are 2 movies that are gonna get a lot of attention. One is like an Oscar type movie, Don't Worry Darling, Olivia Wilde directing, Harry Styles in it, Florence Pugh. It's gonna get a lot of attention on it. It's gonna be exciting. And then you got Black Adam, which is the blockbuster, which everyone's hoping to be good, and The Rock is gonna try and make something out of an anti-hero. But for them to be in this situation, Mike, I don't know. It's absolutely baffling to me.
Yeah, certainly doesn't help them either that like their biggest tentpole like action like DC movie left right now is just complete like hot water because of the Ezra Miller situation too.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different scenario. I mean, I don't know how you could put that movie out. He did his whole little I have some deep problems or whatever, and I'm going to get help. I don't believe it for a second. We know the number one rule in the universe, Mike. The number one rule. My girlfriend always says it to me. We always agree when we talk about people. You know the number one rule?
Enlighten me.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah, that's a good rule.
Ezra Miller's a dick. I mean, pretty much straightforward. He's not a good guy. Like, I'm sorry. Just because you're going to see him help doesn't redeem the actions that you've had. So yeah, they're in a load of crap. They're really struggling. But I'm curious with you because part of this thing is they're merging with Discovery, and there's gonna be some new app that's coming out next year. I'm curious what you think that's gonna look like, how they're gonna merge the two, like what the branding is gonna be like. Do you have any idea or inclination of what it's gonna be like?
I assume it's some sort of general like Warner Brothers app. It's going to have like different tabs, like the HBO tab and the Discovery tab. It's not going to be. I think it's going to be like you'll get HBO Max like updates into whatever the new app is. That's my hunch.
I think that's a horrendous idea. I think you're right. For the record, yeah. I'm leaning your direction as well. But when you take HBO off the icon on the app, you're going to lose so many people's immediate interest. HBO is a brand that people know with high quality content, and HBO Max has delivered it for the most part. A lot of the movies that they put out there they're better than the rest. They also have the best like Criterion collection of older movies as well on any app. If you take HBO off the icon, that's not the first thing people see. They're not going to be as interested. It's going to be incredibly interesting to see what they do and how they try and combine both audiences. Because I don't think there's a lot of crossover between the HBO Max and the Discovery Plus app users. I don't think a lot of people are going back and watching 1940 black and white movies like are offered on HBO Max, and they're going to watch The Real Housewives. I don't think those two things mesh well together. So I don't know how they're going to blend this together.
Yeah, they're definitely going to put it under its own label and not have it just be 2 separate labels at this point. I just think it's going to be one generic thing, like, oh, HBO Max, and then that's going to end up being very poorly performing.
Are they going to do like HBO Discovery or like Discover HBO? Like does some type of pun on words there? I don't know.
I think it's a completely new name. It's either like Warner Brothers, like the Warner Brothers app, or it's going to be like they invent an app and say, oh, this is the new name of the app.
Right, and the HBO Max purple, it pops. No other app has purple on a streaming service. It pops.
It does pop.
Getting rid of it.
Yeah.
I mean, also we have to talk about the backdoor cancellation. I'm sure you're about to segue to it, but I cut you off. This whole thing, we say unprecedented all the time. That word got kind of thrown around during COVID. These unprecedented times, but literally for a production company like Warner Brothers to just cancel a movie that was in the DC universe with that much fanfare behind it, with no warning whatsoever, and now they're just deleting it from its servers forever. This is crazy, Mike. This is like the end times for Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I talked about this a little bit a couple of weeks ago. Sandra Rosa was on doing the Hard Knocks premiere. We talked about the HBO Max thing a little bit, and like this was sort of the impetus of it. It's like when I saw this, I'm like, this is literal insanity. Where you had a movie that basically was done, like literally all they were doing was just like a little bit of post production work. It was finished, and they just said, nope, it's gonna be basically burned and deleted off the cloud, and we're just gonna write it off for tax purposes. It sucks for all the people who worked on the movie, sucks for the actors in it. I mean, I did hear it was not testing well with the audiences, but like at the same time, it's very unfortunate because like, I mean, you had Michael Keaton back as his Batman in that one. It makes no sense, like sort of bring him back for that. I think from what I heard, he was supposed to be, I think, Aquaman as well. Then they replaced him with like Ben Affleck. So I have no idea what the hell's going on over there.
That's Warner Brothers is in trouble. DC's in trouble. This whole thing is crazy. It's so confusing. HBO Max has taken shows off their app. Sesame Street isn't even safe. They took Sesame Street off. I mean, what's sacred anymore? We don't know. It's crazy. The Warner Brothers is in serious trouble. I hope that HBO Max doesn't change too much. I'm going to enjoy it while it's in its current state for as long as I can. But I'm worried, Mike. I'm worried.
I'm also very worried because like I'm a big Westworld guy, and I'm worried we're not going to get the last season. Which like they got the ship right in season 4. Finally, they actually had.
Was it good? I haven't watched it yet. It's on my to watch list. I haven't seen it yet.
It was much better. They did a much better job creating a compelling storyline. They simplified the storyline. There's still some tiny whiminess, but like they really got themselves back on track the first time since I think season 1. I really was into the season, and they have one left. They have a storyline set up for what the final season could be, and I'm where we're not going to get it because there's all this hemorrhaging money, and this show is not cheap to make, and they've lost a ton of ratings over the course of the season.
Yes. Now the Nolan name is attached to this in some way, shape, or form, correct?
It's Jonathan Nolan, not Christopher Nolan.
Yes. So that still carries some weight. The Nolan name, they might not cancel it just based off that. Also, if reviews are better for this season than in past, that means it's positive light going into 5. I don't know. It's interesting. I haven't seen 4, so I can't fully comment, but I think Westworld is in enough of their promotional material that I think they give it another shot for one final season. Maybe they cut it short. Maybe instead of 10 episodes or whatever, it's down to 6. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it was this.
Maybe Black Adam makes billions, and then they could just easily fund it.
Yeah, I mean, this was 8 episodes like season 3 was. It was a much tighter 8 episodes.
All right. Well, listen, I plan on watching it eventually. I got to watch House of the Dragon as well. That's on my to-do list for tomorrow, the night of recording here. I'm watching House of the Dragon tomorrow. So I'm catching up on my HBO. I'm catching up.
Yeah, before we get to the movies we're talking about this year, can we talk about one news story that popped on the radar over the weekend that just shows you, like, I saw this story. I said Jon Stanko will absolutely have a field day with this story.
Yeah, sure. You can set it up, Mike.
All right, so I'm on the Twitter over the weekend. When I'm in, like, literally, I think before I'm driving down to Philly, I'm checking out the storyline, and then I see on the social media streets there is a Ferris Bueller's spinoff being set up here, and I have to look up the exact name of it here. It's called Sam and Victor's Day Off. It follows the same day adventure of the 2 valets who stole the Corvette in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And my question to you is, who asked for this?
Nobody freaking asked for this, Mike. I don't understand why we have to do this. This also comes on the heels of recently they're going to look into doing a remake of The Wizard of Oz. These are 2 essentially untouchable films that are being brought back to make money. Who is asking about the valets from Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Nobody. I didn't know their names. I had to look them up. Nobody knows what the purpose of this is. I don't understand it. It's never, ever going to capture the magic that the original did. There's not even a single chance. This is also the worst John Hughes movie that you could possibly try and attach something to. You can make a modern day Breakfast Club and have the same cultural impact, sharp dialogue that can tackle the different classes in society and the different stereotypes within our society now. You could make a Breakfast Club like that right now, and people would watch it and resonate with it easily. There are plenty of different type of stereotypes in high school now that you could branch off of. People who need understandings about queer life, about LGBTQ stuff, that can bring into a Breakfast Club remake or rebranding. Like, just why Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Why? Who plays hooky from school anymore? I don't even know that people play hooky from school anymore, because like it's just not a thing that is as common back in the old days. I don't get it. It's just, why are you touching something that doesn't need to be touched?
Yeah, I feel like that would be like, oh, we're gonna go now, like 20 years after Seinfeld, we're gonna do the Newman spinoff. Like who asked for the Newman spinoff?
I don't understand it. And from what I've read, it's gonna be from the makers from Cobra Kai on Netflix, which has gotten good reviews. It's brought back Karate Kid, a movie that I didn't particularly have that much resonance with, but people like Cobra Kai a lot. So it's got people working on it who have had success rebranding an old movie. So that is, I guess, a positive light that you could think about it with. But again, it's one of those things where I'm always going to think of the original. I'm always going to think of Bueller. Like, there are just so many classic moments from the original that can never be repeated in this one. If they try and pay homage to it with fan service, it's just going to make it more cringe and want to make people go back to watch the original.
I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to digitally insert like younger Matthew Broderick into this movie?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but Matthew Broderick is going to have to make an appearance somehow, some way, right? Like, he can't not, right? He has to.
Yeah, I'm sure he cameos somewhere in there.
I mean, they're gonna show the back of his head like after he walks into the restaurant and then they drive away with the ballet. Like I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's regardless. I saw it. I was frustrated. Just original ideas, please. We don't need to be rehashing movies like this.
Yeah, let's talk about some movies that are coming this fall. And the list, I think, has shrunk since I originally had an idea, because I think there's like 3 movies I had on the list originally that sort of got pumped back. And I don't know whether it's the COVID effect of the budgets or just like delays on stuff, but like there was a couple I was like frustrated that got pushed back. Like Shazam was one that got pushed back as one of the a victim of the HBO Warner Brothers situation. I think Creed 2, Creed 3 got pushed back. A couple other ones have gotten pushed back as well. I do think like that's a little frustrating.
It's frustrating, but I'm curious. Have you seen the viral clip with Matt Damon on the show Hot Ones that has gone on Twitter recently?
Yeah, I have seen it.
I think that that clip, for some context, he explains about how movie making is very different from in the 90s when he started, because now production studios are only worried about blockbusters because the only way they're making money now is in theaters, because DVD sales are gone. Then it's streaming, and the idea of a second wave for a movie where there's tangible profit for the production company is gone with no DVDs. So now they're banking on the blockbusters. And right now, with all the reshuffling of the dates and stuff, I think as production companies, like you said, with money being maybe not as plentiful as it once was, they're scrapping these dates and trying to find the best place to make the most money possible. So I think it's all correlated together. Again, I'm not in the rooms. I'd love to see someone's financial web about how all these movies get made and stuff like that, and when they come out and who decides when. But it's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm just hoping that the fall has better movies than the summer. That's really what I'm hoping for, because overall, summer slate, not the best in the world.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't here. And we'll start with the Disney Plus avenue here. They have a couple that are coming onto the streaming service here. Are you all interested in Hocus Pocus 2?
No, I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. I haven't seen the original. I have no desire to watch the original. Didn't grow up with it. My cousin Megan Kenny was a huge fan. But it never appealed to me. When I think of a Halloween movie, I think of scary movies. I think of horror movies. I don't think of family adventure fun romps. So that's kind of my take on it. Now, it is directed by Anne Fletcher, who made 27 Dresses, which I love, who made The Proposal, which everyone likes. This director also made Step Up, which I'll admit, when I watched it back in the mid 2000s, was pretty dope. First time I saw it. So there's somebody who has some success in terms of making very happy movies for a very wide array of audiences. But I personally have no desire to watch Hocus Pocus 2.
All right, let's go to the other one here. It's coming on Disney Plus Day, September 8th. The Pinocchio live action. We haven't seen a Disney live action movie in a couple, I think since maybe 2020 with Cruella a little bit. I think we got Tom Hanks and this is Geppetto. We have a lot of got some interesting names in there besides that, and the voice cast as well. Like, do you have any interest in this one?
Did you see the trailer that came out the day of recording for this movie?
I did not watch the trailer yet. I've had a couple on the Twitter save tab. I just had it piled up.
Mike. Who needed this? We talked about it with Ferris Buellers Day Off, but who likes Pinocchio? Who enjoyed the first Pinocchio? Nobody names Pinocchio as their favorite Disney movie. Nobody. Do you know anyone?
I don't know, because I feel like that's not a studio of a film that comes up very often in terms of popularity.
No, because it's not good. Nobody wants to rewatch Pinocchio ever. And now it's a live action and the trailer was bad. Yikes. And Robert Zemeckis is directing this, but like, sure, he's made a lot of movies with Tom Hanks. This is going to be his 4th, I think. He has Forrest Gump, Castaway, and Polar Express. And this is going to be his 4th. I have no hopes for this whatsoever. Absolutely none. I think this is gonna fall completely flat like Dumbo, where nobody was really that interested, because guess what? Nobody really liked the first Dumbo either. It's not a movie that people watch and rewatch.
Yeah, I feel like this is gonna have the same face, sort of like that Lady and the Tramp one they put on Disney Plus on the service launch. Like, it's just
right.
No,
nobody cares.
I mean, it's been sitting there for 3 years. I still haven't watched that Lady and the Tramp movie.
I have no plans on watching that movie. And also, can we talk about this? There are 2 Pinocchio movies coming out this year. 2?
Yeah, there's an animated one. I think Guillermo del Toro directed.
Yeah, that's coming out in December on Netflix.
Yeah.
Why do we need 2 Pinocchio movies? In what world?
I mean, there's a point where we had about 3 or 4 different Snow Whites in some circulation at some point.
Yeah, but here's the thing: those Snow White and the Huntsman movies, they try to do something different. Like they got Kristen Stewart, Charlize Theron, the Hemsworth. Like I, as much as those movies aren't necessarily good, I was entertained. I'm not going to be entertained by a talking wooden doll. I'm not. I'm not going to connect with that. I hope that the kids who watch Disney Plus, I hope that they are. I genuinely do. But come whatever Disney Plus Day, is that what it is? September 8th?
Yep.
Not going to be watching this. Zero care in the world for. I don't know why we need a Pinocchio movie, why, or let alone why we need two.
Yeah. Apologies to Tom Hanks, who has not had a great year at the movies. Certainly Elvis didn't end up doing too great either.
No, but Elvis got good reviews. Elvis was liked by people.
Yes.
This movie's not going to be liked by people.
That is certainly fair. Now let's go to the one DC movie on the calendar here now. Black Adam, The Rock starring as the anti-hero. It's the only DC movie on the calendar this year here. Like, do you think this has any shot to succeed here?
It's Dwayne Johnson. So yes, it has a chance to succeed. The dude is arguably the most popular man in the world. So people will come out to see his movie. How am I feeling about this movie? I didn't hate the trailer. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I am honestly just nervous for Black Adam because there is a ton of pressure on this movie. We already talked about Warner Brothers, how they're strapped for cash. This movie has to make money. If it doesn't, what's going to happen to Warner Brothers in DC? Like what pit of despair are they going to have to crawl out of? Like, it's crazy that there's a ton of pressure on this movie.
Yeah, I feel they only got 2 bankable properties right now in terms of DC movie. I think it's like whatever the Batman spinoffs are or sequels are, that's going to make bank. And Aquaman, like you don't even you have no idea.
Peacemaker. Can we throw Peacemaker in there? Peacemaker was awesome.
That was a show though. That's not really a movie.
True, but I mean, again, I'm thinking of like the HBO Max app, I guess. But yeah, you're right. But in terms of like DC property, the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
that was good. And there's rumors that Idris Elba's coming back to reprise his role.
Yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman also got hit by the dual whammy of the pandemic and the second movie sucking.
Well, second movie was a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
That was the worst Christmas gift of all time when that came out. So like I don't know. With Black Adam, it's interesting. I think it's being directed by Jaume Collet-Serra, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he directed The Shallows with Blake Lively, which I liked a lot. It was a very good shark movie. Was a big fan. And Jungle Cruise with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, was better than I had any right to be. I was entertained by that movie, thanks mainly to Emily Blunt, but Dwayne Johnson was part of it. So it's going to be really interesting. He has a taste for action movies because he's worked with Liam Neeson like nonstop in The Commuter. So he's going to be combining a lot of special effects and higher expectations and higher pressure. We mentioned that the Flash movie has a lot of bad mojo with it right now. So is that even going to come out? Black Adam needs to perform well when it comes out in October, and I'm scared for it. I honestly am scared for what happens if it doesn't succeed.
Yeah. Let's go from the DC side of the aisle to the Marvel side of the aisle here. We got the last movie in phase 4 of the MCU, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. The trailer really grabbed me because they did a really good job selling the emotion of what it's going to be like without Chadwick Boseman. They didn't give away a ton of the plot, but it got me invested in that movie.
Listen, as a non-Marvel guy, this trailer was awesome.
Yes.
It was great. Great emotional trailer. It was really good. I was like, damn, kind of wish I caught up with everything so I could watch this, but I'm not going to. But it was a great trailer. Very, very good trailer. I'm excited for it. Pierce Brosnan coming in as Dr. Fate. I'm excited for that. Coogler just doesn't really make bad movies. As much as I wasn't a huge fan of Black Panther, the original, like he makes entertaining movies for what they are. I think Marvel needs this movie a lot. I don't think Marvel's had a smashing success of recent movies. I think last three movies they've made, there have been some fair qualms from the fans. Though I think the Spider-Man movie everyone loved in terms of like the fanfare it gave, but it wasn't necessarily structured the best of the Marvel movies. Listen, the trailer was great. The soundtrack's going to be incredible. This movie's going to look really good. I'm just curious how they're going to attack the story. Like you said, the trailer released nothing of the plot. It was strictly just a emotional gut punch to get you back invested within the Black Panther story, and it worked. Even for someone like a non-Marvel fan like me.
Well, the good news for a non-Marvel fan like you is that, like, as somebody who's kept up with everything, they have not really touched that area of the MCU. So you can basically go in with not seeing anything and still be up to date on it.
True. And then there'll be a post-credit scene which combines everything, and I'll be super duper duper confused.
That's what you go on the internet for.
That's right. That's what the YouTube 10-minute summations are.
Yeah, you have some guy on a Marvel podcast telling you about why this random character played by a A-list actor is the most important person to show up in the MCU ever.
Right. Or I'll just text you and be like, what the hell did this all mean?
Yeah, I mean, you haven't even gotten to Doctor Strange post credits yet. That one was wild.
No, I haven't. There's just too much. Eventually, I need to just give up on watching the TV shows and just watch the movies and understand that I'll be confused. Well, it's I don't like being confused.
I'll say this one. You kind of don't really need the TV shows, in my opinion. I think you're still good with just the movies.
I heard the only one that you really need is Loki.
I'd say yes, because they committed a second season. Now, a lot of these are just like, okay, here's what's happening, and just like a supplement to the actual movies.
Right. Again, it's probably gonna maybe one day when maybe if I get COVID a second time and it's really, really bad, I'll sit on the couch for 8 hours and just watch 4 movies in a row. But I don't know.
Yeah, but don't wish that on yourself.
No, I guess not. We should touch on though with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, that Daniel Kaluuya is not coming back because I believe he was filming Nope when the time that this was filming or something like that. There was some correlation there. So a little bit disappointing there because Kaluuya is arguably the best actor in the world right now. So not having him is going to kind of stink, but he said he himself is excited for the movie in various reports and press junkets. So that's one thing that is going to be missed from the movie.
Yeah, we're going to miss him for sure. And I think we need to go to the heavy hitter of the cycle here. Avatar, The Way of Water, which basically sent a few movies running away in terror after its initial trailer. I think Shazam was right there. They pulled it out to avoid competing with it. Do you think this thing's going to make another bajillion dollars like the first one did?
No, but do I think it's going to make a lot? Yes. I think this movie and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever are going to be the 2 biggest box office movies of their respective time frame when they come out. Now, Avatar Way of Water doesn't come out till December, so we can't really compare it in terms of what it makes in the year 2022. I think Black Panther comes out in November, second week in November. So, but Avatar The Way of Water, listen, when that first trailer dropped, it looked gorgeous, Mike. It looked beautiful. Not a lot of words, just a lot of pretty blue colors. And tell you what, I'm wearing like a teal shirt right now. I'm wearing the Avatar blue. I'm gonna go watch this movie. James Cameron's sucking me in.
Yeah, I also respect James Cameron big time when he was talking about I was not gonna rush this thing and have this look terrible. I was gonna wait for technology, make sure it looked like exactly how I envisioned it, and they definitely did that.
Listen, we saw a movie this summer that waited for the right time to release in theaters. It took years to make because the technology wasn't ready, and then they waited for the right moment to strike gold, and that was Top Gun Maverick. James Cameron's doing the same thing. He waited. He's baiting his time. He's creating the vision that he wants, and he's dropping it in December, and he's going to let the world soak it all up. We hope that this waiting game is as successful as Top Gun Maverick. We know that there's more Avatar movies coming down the pike. And they're re-releasing the original Avatar back in theaters soon as well, like a remastered 4K. Like, it's going to be crazy. So this movie's going to look beautiful. Whether or not the story is maybe a little bit more, has a little bit more layers to it, I think that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to have to rewatch the first Avatar to kind of remember what happened because this is a direct sequel, but I'm excited for it. James Cameron doesn't miss. He makes good movies. He makes blockbusters. Last time he made a sequel was Terminator 2. Guess what? Pretty freaking good movie. So I'm in for The Way of Water.
I'm in for as well. I cannot wait to see that one here. I think this next one here, number 1 on the list, I think for probably both me and you on the list here. Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery coming to Netflix 2 days before Christmas here. I think depending on if we get the schedule work out with the holidays, we may do a separate spot just on that.
I mean, listen, this is going to be turn it on the 23rd, turn it on that night, get a glass of wine, and just soak in it for 2 hours. I am very, very, very excited. This movie, we don't know a lot about it. We don't need to know a lot about it. We know it's Rian Johnson writing, directing. That's all we need to know. We know the cast is Ethan Hawke, Jessica Henwick, Edward Norton, Daniel Craig, Catherine Hahn, Dave Bautista, Kate Hudson, Madeline Klein, Janelle Monáe, Leslie Odom Jr. All recognizable names from various projects that they were very successful in. I am all in for this, Mike. I don't need to know anymore. Just sit me down in front of the TV on December 23rd.
Yeah, I love that. Always scenes of ours. We got a title. We got that promo shot of Daniel Craig's character at the Benoit Blanc at the table, like with all of them sitting there, and he's like going through something like, okay, this looks like it's be fun.
Yeah, no, it looks like an absolute blast. I'm I'm gonna dissect this trailer when it comes out. I love the imagery he used with the first movie, kind of all the little visual cues that he gave. I love that there's gonna be a third movie. This is gonna be a trilogy with Benoit LeBlanc. Benoit Blanc. So, listen, I'm all in. This is one of those movies where I think actors were like crawling to try and sign up for it because it looks like it's fun to make. It looks like a fairly easy shoot because you're in one place mainly for the entire time, and it looks like a lot of fun. So, yes, give me all in on Glass Onion, a Knives Out story.
Oh, speaking of Netflix, was one I forgot about this summer. I did watch The Gray Man this summer. That was pretty fun.
It was fine. It was fine. Didn't love Chris Evans in it. Liked Ryan Gosling because Ryan Gosling just plays Moody incredibly well. Billy Bob Thornton was, I mean, his character, but she has a pacemaker. That's literally a line that he screams in the movie. Her pacemaker. Yeah. Like it. For the action sequences, some are cool, some I didn't enjoy very much. I thought it was a perfectly fine action movie, but they're definitely going to try and make a franchise out of it without a doubt.
Oh, I think there's already a sequel and a spinoff already greenlit.
Fantastic.
It could be worse. It could be Red Notice.
Well, they're definitely doing another Red Notice. Are you kidding me? Like, they're absolutely going to. And I'll watch it and hate myself for it.
Speaking of a unwanted sequel here, I feel like I've heard nothing about, but it's still on the calendar somehow. The Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Like how much longer are you gonna try and just keep like shooting the Shrek franchise till it's dead?
I don't know, man. And give Antonio Banderas the bag, I guess. Listen, I think I've watched Puss in Boots, the original. This movie's made for kids. Let's be real. This is a kids movie. It's a kids movie for the winter. The parents want to get out of the house. Bada bing, bada boom. This movie, I think, comes out around Christmas time. So you want to get your kids out and go buy some popcorn and go to the movies. This is the movie that you go and see. I don't know why we need it. We're asking that question a lot with a bunch of these movies. Why do we need this? We ask that, but guess what? We still gobble up the entertainment when we can. So I'm happy for the kids on this one. I'm happy for the kids.
Yeah, and before I get to our last, I've actually pulled up I went to like Wikipedia, check the date on this one. Here's the top 10 highest grossing movies of this year to date.
Can I guess them?
Yes.
Oh, can I look up the movies that have come out? So, Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, that's number one.
Nope. Nope crossed 150 million domestic.
For the year, talking about like the entire year.
Let me look up movies that released this year because I don't want to short myself. Did Scream make money?
Scream is not in the top 10 right now.
Scream is not in the top 10. Oh, Jurassic World, absolutely in the top 10.
Number two.
I haven't seen that yet because I've just heard it's bad, so I'm really trying to avoid it. The Northman did not make a lot of money, so that's not there. Lightyear, I think, would still be up there, even though it didn't make a ton of money. It's still a big Disney movie with a recognizable name.
Nope, it bombed.
Nope, it bombed completely.
I think it is one of the biggest flops in like Disney history.
Uncharted
did not make it. No, it's having a second life on Netflix right now.
The Northman didn't make enough money, even though it's one of the better movies of the year.
Yes, it did not.
What's the new Harry Potter movie? Did that one come out this year?
Yeah, it's number 8.
Okay.
It was basically another one that like flopped badly.
Morbius, obviously nothing. Everything everywhere all at once.
It is not. That's not there. So it has more critical acclaim. I did look up Lightyear on a budget of 200 million, made 225 million.
Yeah, so that I don't think Disney's going to consider that a profit.
That's a disaster.
Oh, Sonic 2. That I saw was on Paramount Plus.
That made it. That's number 9.
That's number 9. The Batman.
Yep, 5.
Batman. That's only 5. I thought that'd be higher. Oh, what are the Marvel movies? The Multiverse of Madness.
3.
Thor.
6.
How many am I missing?
You're missing 3.
I'm missing 3.
One is very obvious. The other 2 are probably not at this point.
One is very obvious.
We talked about it the last time you were here.
Because
you said you were not going to watch it. It was going to make $1 billion.
I mean, that sounds about right. I would definitely say that. I don't know it though. All right, tell me the last three.
Minions: The Rise of Gru is 4.
Oh, motherfucker. Yes, you're right. I should have gotten that.
Step number 7 right now is the Battle at Lake Changjing 2, which is an international movie. It's taking a lot of money.
Nope, never
And
heard of that.
number 10 is Moon Man.
Moon Man?
Moon Man. The Chinese science fiction movie.
Okay. The only one I feel bad about is Minions.
Yeah.
That's the only one I feel bad about. I should have gotten that. You're right. I'm giving myself a C+ grade on that. I should have gotten Minions.
Yeah. Yeah. Minions was the only one you really missed here. I'm looking up the Puss in Boots release date right now while we're on the air here. Puss in Boots is coming out 5 days after Avatar: The Way of Water.
Well, it's never going to reach number 1 in the box office, I don't think. But I guess if families don't want to go see Avatar, they can go see Puss in Boots.
Yep. And the last movie here, Babylon, releasing on Christmas. Any thoughts on this?
All about this. Now, I thought this was coming out in 2023. If it's coming out in Christmas, that's even better for me. But you put a movie that's set in Hollywood that revolves around the talkies and turning into like a new era of Hollywood movie making. I am all about it. I'm all about Damien Chazelle. Listen, this movie is going to absolutely kick ass. It's going to contend for awards. It follows a lot of other movies that have followed in terms of like changing in Hollywood. You have The Artist, which was made in 2011, which is about changing in Hollywood. Academy Award favorite. You have Singing in the Rain, all-time classic from 1952. Sunset Boulevard, another one from the 1950s. This is a rich genre for rich storytelling, Mike Phillips, and I'm going to soak it all in when Chazelle puts beautiful Hollywood pastels on the screen and just makes my eyes water in terms of happiness. I am all in for Babylon. Yes, please.
Yeah, I feel like this is one where I feel like me knowing you over the years has really gotten this onto my radar. Where I feel like I would not have caught this, like paid attention to this beforehand.
Love this. I mean, look, listen. The movie. You want to know the movie stars? I have it written down for you in case you didn't know. Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Olivia Wilde, Samara Weaving, who I think you may know, maybe not. I have a huge crush on Samara Weaving. All the stock on her. Love her. Tobey Maguire, Gene Smart, and more. This is a movie that people want to sign up for because they know Chazelle does not miss. I think this is his first movie since First Man with Ryan Gosling, which a lot of people didn't love, but I still really, really liked it. I'm all in on Babylon. All in.
Yeah, it's gonna be one. I'm interested to see how that one works out here. So, what else on the fall slate that has caught your attention so far?
There's quite a few. Again, I'm excited for the fall slate. There's a lot of movies that kind of fit my genre type, and also some movies that are just worthy of, I think, some attention. One that I don't know if I'm going to seek out to watch, but it's good that deserves attention is Amsterdam. David O. Russell getting back to filmmaking. He after he was maligned in some controversy, I believe. But it's a movie that stars Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Zoe Saldana, Robert De Niro, and more. It's like a crime comedy type thing. That comes out in November. People are going to definitely tune into that. We have The Menu coming out with Ralph Fiennes and Anya Taylor-Joy. This movie just looks right up my alley. I think Nicholas Hoult is in this as well. It's set on a remote island with a chef who's crazy, and Anya Taylor-Joy kind of knows what's happening but doesn't, and there's going to be twists and turns, and I'm going to be steering into every single one of them because I'm excited for it. Have you heard about Blonde? Do you know what's happening with Blonde?
I have not heard about Blonde.
Blonde is a Netflix original movie about Marilyn Monroe starring Ana de Armas. It's going to be rated a hard NC-17.
Oh boy.
You tell me who's not watching that
movie. That's gonna be
everyone.
That's the number one movie on Netflix like 3 weeks.
Everyone is watching that movie. This movie comes out on September 28th, and on September 29th, whatever free weekend I have after this movie comes out, I am going to be watching it because, I mean, listen, it's got black and white. It's got color. The trailer, I think, was awesome. It's Ana de Armas pushing for an Oscar. Let's rate it NC-17. It's like, it has a lot happening in it. On a more lighthearted note, we have Ticket to Paradise. Listen, you could be George Clooney and Julia Roberts in a romantic comedy. Yes, please. I'm all in. I don't need anything more. I love George Clooney. I love Julia Roberts. Banshees at the Irishman. How do you pronounce this? Inisherin? Banshees at the Inisherin? I don't know if you've heard of this movie, but have you heard of In Bruges, Mike?
I have.
This is from the same director as In Bruges. It stars the same actors, Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell. You give me a dark comedy set in Ireland, set in a mopey, damp, wet, rainy European city. I'm all in, and that's what this movie is. All in on it. And then the last one, again, just sticking with my Halloween roots. Now I like horror movies. Halloween Ends comes out. Didn't like Halloween Kills last year, but I still love Michael Myers. Halloween, the original, is one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm going to watch this movie the day it comes out, and I'm probably not going to like it. But listen, this movie also has a chance to make a ton of money because it's coming out in theaters and Peacock on the same exact day on October 14th. So I think hopefully this new trilogy ends on a good note, but it's going to make a lot of money and a lot of people are going to watch it.
Absolutely. Definitely a lot of fun the fall movie season. Also excited for the fall. I saw your tweet earlier today about how you got pumped for Andor based on the news that it's not going to be fan servicey.
Yes. Listen, that trailer for Andor was great. I was kind of late to seeing it. I missed it. Like it was a week after it came out. I finally watched it. Trailer looks great. It looks like an actual like real TV show that's not Star Wars. It looks like they were making like a TV show for more people, and then we're going to make it Star Wars-y, but we're not going to make it for a Star Wars fan, if that makes sense. So I'm very, very excited for it. I have high expectations for it.
Yeah, I mean, I just rewatched Rogue One with the Sky Guys. Their podcast is dropping in like 2 days from the release of this one, and it just got me so excited because the writer behind that movie is behind the show. And I read the interview he did, I think with Variety, talking about like, hey, I want to get like more ordinary people in the galaxy involved here. It's not all about the mythical first family that's the Skywalker. Right. And like did appreciate the fact he's like, you know what, this is a story about ordinary people and like how war impacts them. So I think like, and I saw this, I see the trailer, I'm like, okay, this is exciting. Like this is something different that they're not doing. And I think it does work very well.
Yeah, and I think Gilroy is attached to it. Like, yes, I'm very, very excited for it. This is honestly probably the most excited I've been for a Star Wars thing. I was excited for the Rise of Skywalker, not for the Last Jedi. I was maybe a little bit let down, but this is the most excited I've been for a new Star Wars thing probably since the Last Jedi.
Even more than Mando 2?
Oh, I forgot about Mando 2. Nah, you're right, Mando. I love Mando. You're right. Since Mando 2. Fair.
Yeah, but like this is like a show we both like that we and the Sky Guys have said like this is gonna be, I think, something that really is not gonna get a ton of attention. I mean, they did bump it back. I think they were terrified of going against Lord of the Rings and the House of the Dragons. That those shows are set a little before they have it come out. I think this show, the way it's structured, fairly is like it's basically 3 episode story arcs over the course of the season. There's 4 of them, so I think it's gonna be fun to see how they play this out.
Again, the fact that it's not fan servicey makes me excited because they're not going to try and shoehorn in lightsaber duels or anything like that. They're going to focus on telling a story. It's going to be a story that's focused on the characters, not focused on the action or moments, and that makes me excited for it.
Yeah, I also recommend like go if you got time. I know it's hard your schedule. Like get a chance, go back and check out Rogue One again. It's fun. Like revisiting how morally ambiguous Cassian is in that movie. Because I mean,
he's introduced to us. He kills one of his like spy friends. It's literally the first thing he does.
He kills an informant, and then later in the movie, when they're trying to find Saw Gerrera, he really just shoots one of Saw's rebels and lets him fall down, and explode to create a diversion. Like he'll do whatever the hell it takes.
Good. Give me like a morally ambiguous hero in Star Wars. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, because we were watching and we said it on the podcast, and again, that's coming on the Sky Guys feed later this week. Like, if you were to pick one character in that movie to make a show about, he is definitely the right guy.
Oh, absolutely. 100%, not even close.
Absolutely, John. Thanks all the time. Really appreciate it. Before I let you go, if you follow social media, keep on what you're doing over at Stanko Stance.
You could follow me on Twitter and all social media at jstanko99, and I am still writing, chugging out the blogs. Passed over 1,000 written blogs the other day at stankostance.com. So appreciate you having me, Mike.
Thanks for all the time, John. Always a pleasure.
Yes, you too. And good luck to the Mets. Please beat the Yankees.
We will see.